What a time to be an AEW fan in Florida. If you're in Florida, AEW has a spectacular week of events. It's amazing. Or if you just want to come to Florida to see the events, please do. Come on. It all starts on Wednesday, March 2nd, with AEW Dynamite on TBS from AEW's home base, Daly's Place in Jacksonville. Then on Thursday, March 3rd, AEW Dark YouTube tapings from Universal Studios Orlando. Then it's to Orlando to stay in Orlando for AEW Rampage on TNT on Friday, March 4th from Edition Financial Arena at the University of Central Florida. And now we're going to stay there for the weekend. Saturday, AEW FanFest at UCF. AEW The Music Live at the venue at UCF on Saturday, March 5th. The big show, AEW Revolution pay-per-view Sunday, March 6th. Again, at Editions Financial Arena at UCF. And it's not over from there, because you actually have Wednesday, March 9th, AEW Dynamite for the first time in Estero, Fort Myers, Florida. AEW's covering the whole state, everybody. And Tony Khan, the CEO, the president, the co-owner, the founder of AEW, is here, so he can correct me in any of that or anything else. And thank you so much, Tony. What is it like just having all these cool events in Florida?
It's great for me, Jim, being a Florida guy. It works out great for me, and I love anytime we can go to Daly's Place and have a show there. I'm very excited for this week's Dynamite. It's a really exciting show, and there's so much to do. I'm very excited about what's coming this week with Rampage and the FanFest and all the events in Orlando on the road to Revolution. And of course, Revolution itself is going to be a great night. It's going to be an awesome pay-per-view. And I'm thrilled that we've got such a great card for the fans. And then absolutely going down to Estero. I have a lot of family and friends around Naples and Fort Myers. So it'll be great to get people together, and hopefully it'll be a really great week for the fans and the wrestlers.
Wow, AEW Week in Florida. This is just so exciting. There are many Florida fans that are into AEW and just Revolution itself. And that's what I want to key on of all those big events that are going to be here. That card is stacked. But Tony, pay-per-views, AEW, your Dynamite, your Rampage, you always have good cards. And the shows on YouTube are fun. But I really want to talk about Revolution, the big pay-per-view on Sunday, March 6th at UCF, Editions Financial Arena. And just putting that whole card together, what is it like? You have so much talent on the roster.
Absolutely. We have some of the best wrestlers in the world right now. And this pay-per-view card is stacked top to bottom with some great matches. I think for any wrestling fan, there's something exciting on this card. And it's going to be one of our best shows ever.
Now, I'm curious, will Tony Khan be attending AEW The Music Live show?
I think I'll go to the live music show, yeah. I mean, I go to all the live wrestling. I've never missed anything that involves the live wrestling. I'm always right there behind the curtain. For the music event, I think I will be there, although I'll probably be doing some stuff, as far as pay-per-view formatting and putting ideas down on paper. I might be working behind the curtain. But yeah, I'll probably be sitting there behind the curtain for that.
What music is Tony Khan into?
Oh, man. That's a great question. To be honest, I listen to a lot of different stuff. A wide variety of music, which probably is well represented with our team music. There's a lot of different genres and covers, and I like all kinds of different music.
Do you think the Acclaimed will try to get you to perform some music during that live event?
Well, I don't know. It's a good question. We'll have to see. It's a great question. I think that the Saturday we'll cover a lot of that, and we'll hear some great live performances of the music. And then Sunday we'll get down to business and have some great wrestling, I think.
It's such a fun time, and it's so much fun watching and seeing the growth of AEW. Tony, what have you been most proud of so far with AEW?
I'm very proud that we built such a great audience on Wednesday nights for Dynamite. Dynamite, in particular since we moved to TBS, it's been great. You know, we've been on TBS, I think, 8 weeks now. Every episode has been in the top 3 on cable. 8 straight weeks in the top 3, and with just great audience. I think we're up about 30% since we've gone to TBS. So it bodes really well for us.
I'm curious too, Tony, as far as this big AEW Revolution weekend, and it is in Orlando, and it's just a great city, great place. But I'm curious, Tony, were there other cities in the running to host this, or was Orlando always the one you want to have this event at?
Orlando was one of our lead cities. We had a great Dynamite event there in October, and I really wanted to come back and have a pay-per-view event in Orlando. And there's a lot of great cities that would be great for pay-per-views, and sometimes it just comes down to scheduling and luck. And it just so happens that this was a building and a city that was ideal for us because we were able to get it for Rampage and the FanFest and the pay-per-view, and it, you know, worked out really well.
And there's so many events that are surrounding this, which makes it such a fun weekend. Now, the AEW Revolution, the big show, the pay-per-view, I mean, this is like dream matches on the card. It's just so great. One in particular, Moxley versus Danielson. I wanted you to just talk a little bit about that match in particular.
Well, I'm very excited for Danielson versus Moxley. Those are two of the best wrestlers in the world, and I've been really excited for this match as much as anything on the card. And I think they're just going to have a fantastic bout. And I'm really looking forward to that one. I think through their interviews and through seeing them connected on TV, it's a match people are very invested in now. John and Bryan have created a very, very interesting story here. People really want to see what's going to happen with the two of them, and I think they're just going to have an awesome match here. And, you know, ever since Bryan came in, I don't know if people know, Don Moxley is a big reason why Bryan Danielson came to AEW in the first place. He really vouched for this place. He gave his word to Bryan that this is a great place to work. And that helped connect me to Bryan Danielson, that Mox gave him that reference that, you know, I'm a good person to work for and it's a good company to come to. And Bryan Danielson is one of the biggest wrestlers in the world, one of the most recognizable, famous, successful pro wrestlers on the planet. And when he came to AEW, it was a huge gift for us. And their story goes back a long time. They know each other very well, and I think they're going to have an amazing match.
Well, you could say for Moxley too, but I mean, since Bryan Danielson has been with AEW, all his matches have just been unbelievable. So it goes to credit to what you're saying about him and about Moxley as well. Tony, I have to ask you about, you wear so many hats, not only in AEW, but in other businesses and sports. How did you navigate your busy schedule during the Jacksonville Jaguars football season?
Well, it's a great question. During the football season, you know, I used to be in the office like 80 hours a week, and I can't quite do that as much as I used to. I'm still around the office, but I've hired a lot of great statisticians and people to do some of the legwork and heavy lifting I used to do during the week, and I'm still involved in the meeting. We have a great new coach, Doug Peterson, and I think we're going to have an awesome workflow. So I do come in during the season quite a bit with ideas, looking for tendencies, looking for things I can do to help out, and you know, also around the draft, which is coming up. So there are a lot of busy seasons and busy times in football, but I just love it. You know, it's fun to find the time, to make the time to do that, because it's something I've been doing for many years, and I just still love to do, which is working with football statistics.
There are so many athletes who are into pro wrestling, and I'm sure now into AEW. And I'm curious if Tony Khan is getting calls and texts from former Jacksonville Jaguars, current Jaguars, other NFL players. Hey, I want to be on a show, or how can I get involved in this?
Yeah, I am. That's so funny you asked. I actually have had some of that. There have been some that have called and asked that. And I just recently was talking to Fred Taylor about it. Fred Taylor, I think, would be a force in the ring. He's still in great shape. He's one of the all-time great Jaguars players. And I think he belongs in the Hall of Fame, honestly. There's only been two players in the history of the NFL to carry the ball over 2,500 times, an average over 4.6 yards per carry. And it's Barry Sanders and Fred Taylor. And so I really believe in Fred, and I think he would be a great candidate for the Hall of Fame, especially now that the Jaguars have got our first ever player in the Hall of Fame in Tony Boselli. I do have players asking me about wrestling quite a bit, which is cool.
It is so cool. And you are an analytics type of guy, so I know your numbers are right on, spot on. So when you say something like that, I think Fred Taylor was a Florida Gator, was he not?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he's local too for Florida and all. What a great running back. And Tony Boselli, great offensive lineman and commentator. I'm wondering, hey, could we get Tony Boselli maybe calling a match in AEW?
Well, that's an interesting idea. Tony Boselli's great on the radio for the NFL and for the Jaguars. He does the national broadcast and the Jaguars game. And he would definitely be a great commentator. That's a good idea.
He's such a big and larger-than-life character, too, which is so cool for pro wrestling. Oh, well, Tony, hey, a few more questions. I know we got to get out of here, so I want to get this in. All right, so we're talking a little Jaguars, talking AEW. Hey, might we see during this AEW week in Florida the one, the only, Jaxson DeVille?
Wow, we might. I hadn't thought about that.
He's been on AEW before. I think he has payback coming to Chris Jericho.
He does have payback coming. I may have to bring Jaxson DeVille. That's another good idea, Jim. You're full of good ideas. You got to start meeting me earlier in the week to submit these ideas.
Yes, we'll have a weekly call. Hey, have your people call my people, Tony. We'll put it together.
I love it.
Hey, I do want to also talk about the broadcast team. What I like about it is different broadcast teams and different shows, but not only do you have the greats like Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross, and Excalibur does a great job, but you have the former wrestlers, Taz, Mark Henry, Big Show, Paul White, Chris Jericho, and even some of the younger ones. I think Ricky Starks. I think that's just so great to have the former wrestlers and current wrestlers doing these shows. What are your thoughts of just putting the commentary team together and not having them all fumble on each other? Because there's a lot sometimes on one show.
Yeah, they do a great job. Different cases. I think Chris Jericho and Ricky Stark both have great perspective. Chris Jericho, legendary veteran who has more experience than really anybody in the company in terms of wrestling on different promotions, different continents. And he brings that experience to Rampage, and I think he does a great job making Friday night feel like a party. And then also, kind of a very suave, charismatic presence we get from Ricky Starks as well. And so I think they both bring something special. I love putting the different commentary teams together and giving different people a chance to express their voice. I think Chris and Ricky, I call him Rico, do a great job on Rampage. And I also think that on Elevation, we hear some great commentary from Mark Henry, Paul White, sometimes Eddie Kingston. So we have a lot of great wrestlers who are also very, very good commentators and are getting better and better in developing those skills.
Well, we only have a few more minutes, and I want to mention Alex Marvez, who was a pro wrestling columnist for the Miami Herald. Yes, Alex. And he's there too. But I've got it. So I mentioned Alex, but I got to talk about Dan Lambert of American Top Team right here in Coconut Creek in South Florida. Wow. Give this man a mic, and I mean, just listen. What has it been like just getting involved with Dan and Tony? Is there a little short backstory of just how the two of you got together?
Yeah, Dan and I are friends, and I met Dan in Florida with Jorge Masvidal, and we all became good friends. They're just really good people, and American Top Team is a great group. He has great fighters, and Dan is a big wrestling fan. And so that's how I got close to him, and that's how he got into the wrestling business. And, he's a great promo, and I'd seen him managing Bobby Lashley in Impact, and I thought he would be a tremendous promo, and he would be great in AEW. And he's been very kind with his time, and I love having Dan around anytime.
And who from American Top Team has impressed you? I know Junior Dos Santos has gotten there. There have been several. Masvidal didn't get in the ring, but got involved. I think Masvidal, once his MMA career and other ventures, if he ever wanted to do this, would be incredible. Paige Van Zandt I bring up as well. Oh, my gosh. Who's impressed you from the ATT fighters?
Well, you just mentioned, I think Paige Van Zandt has been very impressive. And then Andrei Arlovski is on a great run in UFC. I think he's won 5 out of his last 6 fights in UFC. And he's been great for us in AEW. Him, again, Van Zandt, Arlovski, Dos Santos, and of course Masvidal, all of them have come to our shows and been tremendous.
Yeah, it was so much fun watching that and continue to watch that. Okay, we'll wrap this up with Mr. Tony Khan. Tony, I thank you so much. I will end it with this. We have the big AEW week. I'm calling it AEW week in Florida. The Sunshine State's going to be sunnier because AEW is here for the whole week. Tony Khan, I'm going to end it with this. Are you worried? Because now Danhausen is in AEW. Are you worried of getting cursed?
No, Jim, I'm not. Danhausen's on my side, so I think we're in good shape. But I think the heels of AEW should be worried that Danhausen is here.
And no swearing. Thank you, Tony Khan.